Monbasa Mvita. Madness, mysticism, or lies? That is the question. There are things that happened, and people who experienced them were either told they were mad or they were imagining things. Those things never occurred. I'm going to start when I was a small boy in a town called Nakuru in Kenya. That's where I was born. There was a library. It still is, has been built some other place, that had books. And it had some good, big volume books. Interesting for children, that had aliens. And at first I thought in my child innocence, those are real things. And later, when I had come of age, I went through some other volumes which contradicted everything that I'd seen. They said aliens don't exist. And so it was. These are imagined crafts. When I reached of age and I went through some of these things because it was an interesting topic. That was when some movies were acting about aliens. The cartoons and TVs were acting about aliens. I decided to pursue some material on aliens. And there is the great case that everybody comes across when you're talking about aliens. That story about these people in this town who are confused, and an air balloon that was supposed to check on the weather had gone up, and because of that pressure and whatever, the balloon that was filled with hydrogen burst and scattered the material that had made that balloon across a large field. And the people living in that place, because there were alien movies going around, got so confused. They went to collect material, and some military vehicles went to help collect the material to get rid of this euphoria that was there. And then after some time, in Brazil, something happened, and later the incident was recorded as chupa chupa. You know, in Kenya we speak the national language called Kiswahili, and Kiswahili has got many roots. There are Spanish words like pesa, from pesos. So we have chupa. And when I had chupa chupa, and the other place, is it Portuguese or Spanish that is spoken there? Should be Spanish or Portuguese. When I had chupa chupa, I thought of Spanish origin, and I thought they were talking about the bottle. And I was wondering, what about the bottle issue? And when I perused, I realized it was about aliens who were bloodsuckers. So I don't know, you can help me. I don't know if it's Portuguese for bloodsucker or if it's Spanish for bloodsucker. But it had the same notation. Just like the other one of a place where a balloon went up and exploded, and people, due to this euphoria, started imagining their own things. I also came to realize later The people in Brazil had imagined such a happening. It was interesting. There was a lot of euphoria. And then I went perusing some other material and realized that in some city, in some country, where there are big organization, one night, something I think people purported was happening, or out of the euphoria, they saw something like a saucer extracting a lady from a building up there, and the lady was hanging halfway in the air between the spacecraft and the building, and she had been extracted out of the window asleep, and she was still asleep, floating in the air. And the vehicles down there stopped, and others realized their engines could not run, and everybody was curiously looking up, seeing this phenomenon take place. Unknown to those people, a big official from some big organization was also down there, witnessing or had the euphoria about the same happening. Some leakage say he saw, he believed he saw, but he couldn't bring himself to say he saw because of the nature of the office and what had been said. Anybody who was seeing such a things was not sane, was euphoric. So, in such a big position, you don't have to be taken like that. So they left it. 1979, or somewhere between there, I'm not very sure of the year, in a place called Baginha or something like that, in again the country of Brazil. An evening passes by, some ladies are walking and they encounter a creature that looks interesting with red eyes, black, oily skin, almost the size of human beings but shorter, and it looked at these girls and it appears to be communicating from its eyes telepathically with them. They could understand without a word. It was telling them, I am injured, I need help. But because of the nature, the red eyes, and the way the creature looked, they were so scared, they ran for their life. On reaching home, some called their parent, and one of the parents went. She just found a mark, but the creature had left. That very evening, it is purported that some call was made. Some policemen who were on the beat got the call, and they were supposed to restrain a strange creature. They did so as per the purported record. And when they did so, that creature scratched one of them. It appeared to be communicating telepathically to them. They rushed it to a hospital, and in the hospital, the doctor was first surprised. Then the creature or the being was taken there to be treated, and somebody says something like that happens, and there was some commotion, and there was some security and whatever, and the creature was taken away. And later it was reported there was a madman, a mentally handicapped man, who used to hang around in the streets, and that day it had rained. There was a lot of mud on him, and some girls walking realized there was something that looked alien, and they caused alarm, and people panicked, and they realized it was this mentally retarded man. And then stories went by that some leaders from some places disappeared for a day or some 2 days, and it was rumored that the leader was meeting a group of alien species that wanted communication with the Earth. And the president appears after some time, after a tooth extraction. Tooth extraction. So the people from that area had purported the president had gone to some place, and the true record was that he had gone to some hospital to have a tooth extraction, and it took long. And they got worried because others got worried saying the aliens would have abducted him. So rumors fly everywhere. And things went like that. I'm not going to delve into many things. Please tell me, or take it to yourself, were they the madness of the people in Euphoria, mysticism, or outright lies from the people, or the opposite? So what happened? Later I went and perused some books, and there was the story of Roswell. There was the story of some alien being that was taken to hospital. There was the story of some nurse that attended to the alien. And there was the story of the threats. But she spoke it out when she was dying, because she was saying she was not afraid that time any state, anybody would get to her. So she spilled the beans. So maybe it is euphoria that also come to people when they are about to die. You know, when people are about to die, they imagine things. But she said she attended, she thought it was a child. And later, it was purported that an alien in some other town had been buried using Christian rites, and later the tombstone disappeared, or people imagined they had buried an alien. So there are so many imaginations. Funny enough, there have been some incidences that relate to these things. Animals have been mutilated in places, in strange ways, that even wild animals cannot eat the carcasses. Strange mutilations, but it was said some wild animals attacked these animals, and people, because of not understanding what was happening, would give different reports. And then something that was purported by somebody who was photographed was interviewed. Somebody who was doing construction, and they were doing construction for some purpose. I think for the aliens, or for research, or for the military, or for whatever. It is one of the videos that was fished from the computer. So, got in there and realized they had broken into a dwelling or a camp of some underground aliens. And that time, there were no, plasma weapons. And the person exchanges, the soldiers exchange fire with those one. The guy was removed from the place where it broken into because they were firing. And interesting, the aliens fell. Some died when they were fired at. And they retaliated with plasma weapon. The guy had his stomach cut, And in the photograph of the real guy, in some of those things, he was showing, he was telling the story. But also he was a person who imagined things. Some other crazy guy, no, not crazy, please remove that. I can be sued. I'm just trying to put the situation for us to see. This guy said he worked for some secret thing of dealing with alien crafts, and he was known. He was supposed to be a known liar. Nothing like that ever happened. In some places he mentioned, and he kept mentioning of an element, because there are certain elements on the periodic table. It was not there, and he kept mentioning of this element that they were getting. And this crazy, oh, not crazy guy, oh, this hallucinated, not hallucinated, this euphoric guy kept mentioning some element. And later, after some time, when he had been declared a liar, this element was discovered. It's in the periodic table. By the name he gave. And such a madness is good, because if one can get mad or can get euphoric and invent an element and it's discovered, then hallelujah, let's get euphoric and discover more new elements. That is what happened. The thing of cattle mutilation, you can pursue those with the internet. There are conspiracies, or I said I am carry and go for carry and go. What I'm saying I'm getting from the internet. So you can make up your mind if they are truths or if they are lies, or if people got euphoric, or if madness has been creeping into people. So it appears some alien being, from what I saw on the internet, because some people are saying from whistleblowers, from those people who have encountered, and from the past stories and histories and records that are esoteric. So they are not open to us. They are not supposed to be, because they are lies, they are imaginations. Some of the alien species cannot be able to ingest food the way we do. So they mutilate whatever they are going to eat, put some whatever, and absorb it through the skin. And also, the excretion is through the skin. Some people talk of meeting some things that have very strong stench. I don't know. They also get very imaginative, I guess. The Brazilian thing, you can read it, has evidence that some people knew much about these things. Very much. That they were able to get into communication, and they would command them, and they would respond to them. That is a government recording. And then pilots who are flying would say certain things that they see, but they were told it was an order. If you keep imagining such a things, you can be a danger to the pilots, to the passengers. So you keep imagining those things, you're likely to lose your job, because they don't want somebody who gets hysteria, or somebody who gets what imaginative when he's piloting people. Will be a danger to people. So you see, and to keep. And many other things had happened. So, question is, are these things there? As per the writings, nobody knows about these things. Nobody. But when I went through those things, when I went through YouTube and there was something I got from the aliens, there was a full explanation that there are some aliens that have inhabited either secretly or knowingly some of the places on earth. Some are very friendly to human beings. Some are violent to human beings. Some feed on human beings. It is written in those things in YouTube. I downloaded it for those who have researched. So I'm not talking as an authority, but as a layman who has gone through those things. These things have set my mind moving. And I'm realizing many of the things we were told may not be so. We have alien presences, alien effects on our lives. So why don't we come to the point that we agree and discuss now those things that were hidden, those things that are there. Why they are there? Because aliens have not just appeared. That is a strange thing. They were there before. They affected even religion. I think that's the thing I talk about. These things we talk about visitations. The Indians had their visitations. We can talk about Krishna and all these other things. The Muslims had their visitation. The Christians had their visitation. Many other religions had their visitation. And these visitations are linked to certain superior entities. There was a time when people were talking strangely of things like Anunnaki and whatever. Anunnaki is supposed to be a race. Surprise. And then the Nephilims, which we were being told are crossbreeds between angels and human beings. Nephilims are a race. Known to the esoteric, unknown to the exoteric. So it's a high time that we became open with one another as human beings and shared these things. What is worrying is that there is a species that looks down upon human beings, sees them just the way you see weeds in your garden, and some of the catastrophes that humans have had is alleged to have been involved. And it's alleged to be influencing societies with a purpose. Not societies, leaders in societies, some. They're able to get to them by hypnotism and what do you call this? Telepathy. As a person who has been followed and sometimes having this telepathic problem, when you are kept mum, you will keep mum. Because everything you think, I've told you of thinking. The moment you think, before you can vocalize within that process, whatever you are thinking is known. So it's a high time that human beings looked at whatever we are seeing happening, these turmoils we are having, these sudden changes we are having, these influences we are having of dominance. Are they for good for humankind? Because there seems to be a driving force that is beyond what has been normal. Look around the world and see, are things running the way they have been running? So it's a high time also for those who can get spiritual, have faith. For people to question their policies. Much more. Policies are the ones that have been aligned to these spaces for knowledge, for advancement, for weaponry. We are guilty, but we hide it. So we are advancing, but in the process, trying to sell the very race that we are in. So people from your place This is an allegation. I'm not saying I'm an authority. Peruse through these things. Find out what will be happening and be alert to changes in your countries. Don't pursue things because only leaders have said. Have they said them in line with your laws? Have they said them in line with your objectives? Are some of the changes you are seeing real? Are some of the controls you are having good for your country? From economy to fuel use to politics, look into that. There are changes that are going on, purported for a bad purpose. But when we are alert, we can be able to forestall, preempt whatever evil that was to happen so that it does not happen. I'm saying this, some will say this one is talking like a lunatic. I'm saying this with many people purporting many things about me. But some of the things I'm telling you, the stories I've told you are real. The experiences I've had are real. Some people have told the same stories, the same experiences, but they always denied as lies. Please, people of the world, open your mind. Watch the situations. And where you find they're taking you the wrong way, with the powers you have as citizens of countries, refuse. Because there are some things that are happening and you say, what could we have done? You have a voice that you can put in. Maybe I'm being over-imaginative. Maybe I'm being paranoid. Maybe I'm having euphoria like those people in those places had. Or maybe we are being lied to. Like I said, mine is to give the message and go. Carry the message, make your conclusions, carry and go. That is my take.